Hey everybody, welcome back. Just excuse the voice, or if I cough or whatever, I'm getting over a sickness, but I wanted to come in here and make a video anyway, talking about Stallion Express, talking about kind of an update on how I'm navigating all of this that we're dealing with Canada Post going down, and now UPS and Purolator both shutting down or not accepting new packages and stuff like that. So this is just this just adds another layer of difficulty, another layer of just craziness and trying to get out the orders. So what I have found here is that I can still, get my orders linked into Stallion Express. In fact, I'm looking at my dashboard here now. I can still go in and purchase those labels and stuff through Stallion Express, but as some people have already noticed, when you go in to book UPS pickup, you put in the information and stuff like that, then it pops up and says no rates found. And that's because UPS is no longer doing pickups, which is a huge pain because, that's what you need to do to get your packages to Stallion from where you are. So you don't have to send them through UPS to Stallion Express. But of course they offer a discount. So like a big box of orders, the last time I sent it out, a big box of 10 orders or something that was, two 14-inch by 10-inch by 8-inch boxes basically kind of wedged together to make a longer box, probably 11 pounds or so. It was only $20 to send that whole thing up to Ontario to Stallion Express to get the, all my orders distributed through the various carriers. This time I had a similar size box, and it just went out this morning. I'm filming this on a Monday morning, and which was fine, but I couldn't send it through UPS, couldn't book that shipment. So I've got a third-party trucking company that represents and does pickups and drop-offs, like receives packages for UPS, Purolator, Canpar, MBW. FedEx Air. I think there's one other one in there anyway. In any case, I called them this morning before I did anything and said, hey, I know UPS is no longer accepting orders. What about Purolator? Like, are you guys still accepting Purolator? Will it go out if I get a Purolator label and get it to you? And she said yes, although they're likely not going to be picking up soon from us, so get it over to us this morning. So I did. So in order to get a UPS label, I used netparcel.com, or I guess maybe netparcel.ca.com. It's showing up .com on my screen here. I always thought it was .ca. In any case, netparcel. And you can go in there and get some pretty good discounted rates. So this, instead of being about $20 through that Stallion Express, like UPS pickup, it did cost $29 to send it through Purolator. But at least it's an option. Overall, because of the way that I've got my shipping calculated, kind of allowing for some of this, I'm still actually about even on total shipping cost compared to what the buyers have paid. So it's worked out, and I'm not, eating too much money on this, but it definitely adds another layer of complexity just to get the orders to Stallion Express. And then some of those Stallion Express packages that I've already had delivered there that I can see, the UPS tracking shows that, they've made it there, still haven't been processed and scanned in by the other entities and whatnot to get them going out. So I know that everybody's busy, and I know that there's going to be backlogs and delays this time of the year, so I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried that my package is lost or something. I mean, there's proof of delivery that shows, on Stallion Express that, that package has been received by them, and there's a proof of receipt on the UPS tracking, so I'm not too concerned about it. It does just kind of suck for the buyers who, obviously are gonna have to wait probably quite a bit longer than usual, but I guess that's expected this time of the year. So once I got to my local trucking company this morning, handed it off to them, and they accepted it and, you know, said, yeah, this will go out today. She did also say, though, yeah, so UPS obviously still on hold, but Purolator is now putting a 48-hour hold on pickups from us. So nothing new from Purolator, at least for the next couple of days, will be going out from here. She's like, we could still take it, but not to say it's actually going to move. Although that might change if they delay it even more and say, hey, we're not actually picking up for the next week, then we might not accept the orders here, because obviously they only have a small space. So yeah, it's been interesting, but I guess if you are using Stallion Express, and I know it kind of sucks, like I feel a little bit, it's not Stallion's fault, and it's not my fault for referring them, but I do feel a little bit bad, you know, like really saying like, all right, this is the way to go, this is the way to do it, this is the way to get around the Canada Post strike BS. And then one main feature of using Stallion Express for us rural folks, the UPS pickups, is no longer an option, and you're getting that no rates found error when you try to book one. Obviously, that's only because UPS is backlogged, and understandably so. They're picking up a lot of slack and getting a lot more business probably than they ever were. And, you know, Stallion Express having my packages there for a few days and them not getting scanned again, I'm not concerned about that, but it is just a little bit annoying. But when I get back, you know, when I follow the trail of breadcrumbs, it all does lead back to Canada Post. And, you know, I mean, some honest thoughts on the strike, like, I don't blame, like, I'm a fan of unions, I'm pro-union, and I don't blame any union for striking if they really feel like, you know, they're getting the the bad end of the stick here, and they've been getting shafted or whatever. You know, if I don't know the details of how much they get compensated, what their benefits are, and how that compares, and what it should be. Like, obviously, we don't have that information. I am very aware of, like, union negotiations and stuff like that. It's something that I haven't directly done, but is something that happens with my workplace. And, you know, I'm aware of the kinds of things that tend to come up and tend to be hiccups along the way. A lot of it's language and verbiage. But, you know, at the end of it, it seems like this couldn't have been a surprise to Canada Post, the company, that, you know, the CUPW, the union was this unhappy that there's this much of a gap. You know, like it couldn't have been a surprise that they were so far off that they can't come to an agreement. So I don't know what the answer is. Hopefully it's, you know, resolved soon, although I'm not super optimistic about that. But yeah, I mean, so anyway, it is having a trickle-down effect, though, on all of these other backup plans. But the good news is, if you're using Stallion Express and you can't book your UPS pickup, check out NetParcel. You may end up paying more, and you know, so like Purolator is still kind of an option-ish right now, and that cost me $30 instead of $20. But, you know, that was for 10 orders, so really that's just eating $2 more per order on the shipping, so that's not too bad. And there are other options as well. So even if UPS and Purolator go down, you know, MBW, FedEx, Canpar, you know, these are all options that are there as well, and they might be a little bit more, but it's still like, would you rather be making smaller margins and still doing business, or do you want to shut it down? And obviously that's a decision that you need to make depending on what kind of margin structure you have in your business. But for me, I'd rather just move it. And even if that means, like, you know, instead of having an average of 50% margin, I'm down to 35 or 40% for this period of time, however long it is, that's still good enough for me. So, all right, one last thing. I did make a sale, my first ever sale to Australia, actually to Tasmania. Someone had messaged me and said, hey, you know, I received your offer and I appreciate it, and I want to accept it, but I noticed that you know, it says that your country is no longer shipping internationally, so, you know, what should we do about that? So it sounds like eBay is notifying people, is notifying international buyers and saying, hey, like, shipping might be delayed, or shipping might, not even be possible or whatnot. So the option that they had, like I do still have like a Canada Post worldwide tracked packet as the calculated option to calculate how much these people are going to be paying, knowing that it's probably going to be slightly over or pretty close to what I can get through Stallion Express. But because I'd never shipped to Australia, literally the other side of the world, I wasn't sure what option there was going to be. So I messaged them back and said, hey, I appreciate you reaching out to me first. If you're interested, go ahead, place the order, and then I can see what, the shipping cost is that you've been charged. I can take a look at, my options and see what we have available, and then I can get back to you. And if it looks like I can't ship it to you, or I can't ship it to you for anywhere close to what you've been charged, then, maybe we have to cancel the order, but that's fine. We can work it out. But if you're interested, place the order. We'll go from there and whatever. So I can ship to Australia through Stallion Express through Post Netherlands, for $21 or something, I think, and they paid like $20. So, I mean, that's perfectly fine. And actually, as I'm filming this, I see that they messaged me back. So, let's see what they had to say. All right. So yeah, I had just explained that I can do this for about almost exactly what you paid, but there's going to be delays. I explained the tracking delay because even when I buy the label on Stallion Express, that's going to put a tracking number in their order, but it's not going to update for several days because then I got to get it to Stallion Express, blah, blah, blah. And she just came back and said, thank you for that information. So it sounds like we're good to go, and I've made my first sale to Australia. Anyway, I'm definitely losing my voice here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Just wanted to jump in and say, we're having some issues with Stallion, but it's not Stallion's fault. UPS has had to shut things down, and, you do still have options. Check out NetParcel if you're in Canada. It's a way to get some severely discounted rates. Hopefully there's one in there that'll work for you. And, yeah, we'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.